like the video.
The new Weapons movie with Julia Garner, Josh Brolin, and Benedict Wong. Silver Surfer, Thanos, and Wong from the MCU. Pretty sick movie. Pretty sick, scary movie. Would recommend. Wife and I saw it this past weekend, and I find it interesting for a lot of reasons, and today I'm just yapping about that. Real season 3 vibe.
Derapy. Season 3 of Derapy.
Okay, so the only thing I knew about this movie going in was super high Rotten Tomatoes score. I heard it was one of the best scary movies of the year. Generational. Exceptional. Crazy hype. And honestly, that may have set me up just a little bit. Now, the movie is awesome, don't get me wrong, but I gotta keep it a $1.69 with you. It's not the craziest movie I've ever seen. Now, what the movie does have a lot going for it is the original script. Like, I am so tired of seeing remakes and redos and live action versions, sequels, etc. This felt extremely fresh. The story is basically 17 kids go disappearing from the same classroom in the middle of the night at approximately 2:17 in the morning. Now, I think the movie does a really good job of not letting you have any idea how this is going to get solved. I think that the way that the parents react to all their children disappearing is extremely realistic. All the kids disappeared from this class except for one whose name is Alex, and the kid that is playing Alex, one of the best kid actors I have ever seen, no joke. Very, very light spoiler, the show is told in like different chapters with these title cards telling you what perspective you're about to see the movie happening from. I think that's super fun and super fresh, and seeing what leads up to the interaction between these characters from their own perspective is really, really awesome. I wish more movies did creative story structure like that. One thing that I think was a bit overstated in this movie was the overall level of like horror and scariness of it. I will say I am the type of person that will like cover half their face. I hate being jump scared. I think it's so cheap and lame, and I think that the way that movies typically use loud ass noises out of dark and silent scenes is just like, it just feels like a really cheap way to scare somebody. Like Smile 2, for example, isn't actually that scary of a movie to me. It's just so incredibly loud that you feel like you're being frightened by the noise more than you are the actual visuals. But to bring it back to this movie, Weapons, I will say that there are some elements of the film that's scary, but I feel like its strengths are really in the storytelling and the acting. So Julia Garner is the lead actress for the movie. She is essentially the main character. She is the teacher that shows up at school and sees that literally all the kids are gone except for one student. Naturally, all the parents of the school are seemingly blaming her, like she has to know something, arrest her until she talks, as if like it isn't also traumatic and kind of devastating for her. But they keep trying to explain to her, you don't understand. No, you just don't get it. You're not a parent. They're not actually your kids. But when you think about it, like on a day-to-day basis throughout the school year, like teachers are actually spending probably just as much, if not more time with your kids than you. So I think it really played on that dynamic really well. Kind of like how nobody was really being empathetic towards her, with the exception of Benedict Wong, who played the principal at that school. But a lot of the parents were extremely skeptical of her. They assumed that she had something to do with the disappearance of the kids. And I felt like all of that felt very realistic to me. My first experience watching Julia Garner was through the Netflix show Ozark, which is an awesome show. One of my favorite Netflix shows ever. Highly recommend. And she was a pretty pivotal character in that show. I'm always going to see her as Ruth Langmore.
I don't know shit about fuck.
She is a great actor, and I think that like her range is on full display in this movie. We get to see her compassionate and flirty and sad and scared, and I think that she really like puts on a great performance. Josh Brolin is also in this thing as one of the parents of the missing children, and he kind of takes it upon himself first to do a little bit of he kind of gets like a little bit of get back on Justine Gandy, on Julia Garner's character. Like he's kind of like messing with her at first because he's like bothered by the fact that she's walking around free when all the children are missing, even though she didn't really actually do anything, especially at the time that he's messing with her. Like there's no reason for him to believe that she's responsible for the disappearance of the children, but he's just upset. There are a couple of really funny scenes with him. I think the thing that a lot of people came from this movie talking about and what they ended up posting online is how funny the movie was, and I have to agree, it was far funnier than I expected. But I honestly really appreciate a quote-unquote scary movie that kind of leans into some of the sillier aspects of the horror that people are experiencing. Because like at its core, like things that are scary are off. They're weird, they're concerning, they're unnatural, and sometimes it's just funny. There's this one particular scene where Josh Brolin's character has this really crazy dream, and then he wakes up and he just starts yelling, and it's really, really funny. Speaking of funny scenes, Austin Abrams plays this dude named James, who's like a homeless addict, and Alden Ehrenreich plays this officer named Paul Morgan, who is also Justine Gandy, Julia Garner's character in the movie. It's her ex, and between the officer and this homeless dude, they have some of the funniest scenes in the movie. Like, I would watch an entire series just based off of what those two just get up to on a weekly basis. This story gives its side characters a lot of depth and a lot of time to where it doesn't really feel like the entire movie is based on one or two people. Going into it, you assume that a lot of the movie is just going to be about Justine, the teacher, or it's going to be just about the kid, Alex, the last one left standing after all the kids disappeared. But this movie gives a really good amount of time to other characters that are a big part of the plot, and I think that their performance is inspired and funny and really, really over the top sometimes, but ultimately it's for a good cause. The last few things I'll say about the actors in the overall movie, without getting into too many spoilers, is that when the antagonist does show up, it's not immediately clear, but they very much steal the show. I only wish that there was one more chapter in the movie kind of exploring the events of the story through their perspective, but all in all, from Julia Garner to Josh Brolin to Benedict Wong to show stealer Amy Madigan, who's playing little Alex's wonky aunt, it is a movie I found more fun and story focused than like nightmare inducing or haunting. And I think that's good, actually, because some scary movies are so focused on like supernatural lore that the film becomes kind of hard to follow and they can fumble the third act. But by the end of this movie, it is a complete and utter just hurricane of hilarity to close out the movie. I'm not going to spoil it, but it had my entire theater laughing and clapping, which is not what you would expect from an apparent horror movie about disappearing children. The only thing that kind of threw me off is the way that the movie was advertised versus what they actually show the tone of the movie like being on the big screen. I do think I would have liked to see a little bit more also from the other parents in the movies that lost their children, see how different parents handled the disappearance of their child, but really only saw like one or two of them outside of the PTA meeting where they all just kind of yell at the main character and ask like what her involvement is. But all in all, I loved it. My wife loved it, and I'm feeling a strong 8 to a light 9 on this movie. It's not as good as Sinners, in my opinion, but one of the better movies you'll see this year for sure, and I will definitely be watching it again when it comes out on streaming. If you have seen this movie, by all means, let me know what you think. How was the kids acting? Was the movie what you expected? Did you guess who was responsible for the kids missing, or did you have any idea where they went? Leave a comment. I will read them all. Love you. Mean it. Spread the bread. Subscribe to more Derapy for more Derapy, and enjoy the outro. That's me.
Cracking my windshield, I'm pissed off. If you a hater, get lost.
Get lost.
Yeah, it's my show and I'm in charge. Don't eat lemon pepper wings, but I'm the big boss. Please cut me slack, man, need a discount. About to jump off the roof, that's a dismount. I'm just playing.
I'm okay.
Okay, but like, are you though?
Sorry for the pause, that's awkward. Start a podcast, cause I knew I was a talker. Yeah, my girl love me, but she's sick of my voice. And you know I'm pro-choice, so she do what she want. Why they hate when I get political? I'm a deep thinker, that's critical. Way too serious for a dude not getting paid. Man, I really need a shave. You know what sucks? Most of season 2 of Dave. Taking shots, but I skip out on the bar. Every single show, I swear I wanna raise the bar. Hope you listen close so you never miss the bar. Say the same thing, but I'm still going.